Bible prophecy is active and unfolding daily. Zechariah 12, Isaiah 17, Psalm 83, Ezekiel 38. Here is what the LameStream Media is not telling you. Shalom, my friends. Welcome to this week's newscast. Back in February this year, ISIS threatened to flood Europe with 500,000 migrants in a psychological attack against the West. And while the media is now shouting about migrants overwhelming Europe, it is a crisis, but not what the media would have you believe. This crisis is crushing, the scale of which is one not seen in Europe since the end of World War II. Stories and images of migrants pouring into Europe from Iraq to Nigeria are inspiring thousands more to rush out on their own risky journeys. Baghdad travel agents are reporting a surging demand for plane tickets, prompting airlines to add 3 more daily flights to Istanbul, on top of 5 packed flights a day already. And in Turkey, which hosts almost 2 million Syrian refugees, officials are talking about a rush for the border. There are thousands of these hostile invaders. Europe is on the verge of descending into utter chaos. Reuters reported that thousands of migrants stormed across Macedonia's border on Saturday, overwhelming security forces who threw stun grenades and lashed out with batons before apparently abandoning a bid to stem their flow through the Balkans to Western Europe. These thousands of Muslim refugees, most of them from the jihad hotspots of Syria, Afghanistan, and Iraq, have been pouring into Greece and the Balkans in huge numbers for some time now. But they do not, of course, want to stay in Greece, Macedonia, and Serbia. They want to reach the European Union, primarily Germany, France, and Britain. Also, an investigation by MPs found illegal immigrants heading for Britain are making it across the entire EU without a single border check. British tourists are being warned to beware of migrants trying to stow away in their cars. And to make matters even worse, a container with aid for refugees was intercepted by the Greece Coast Guard and found to be full of guns and ammunition, not food supplies. It appears there may be a top-secret New World Order plan called Asylum, a cover story being used to send thousands and thousands of ISIS fighters to their new homes and countries they would later attack en masse in one 24-hour period all across the globe. According to the Terror Threat Snapshot for September, released by House Committee on Homeland Security Chairman Michael McCaul, Republican in Texas, quote, "The Islamist terror threat in the U.S. homeland has escalated dramatically this year and remains high. There have been more U.S.-based jihadist terror cases in 2015 than in any full year since 9/11, close quote. And as my friend Walid Shoebat points out, this flood of Islamic migrants into the West is the early birthing stages of what we see in Revelation chapters 11 and 12, where the woman who gives birth to a male child, that's Israel, is attacked by the dragon, and that's Satan. Frustrated and unsuccessful, the dragon later goes after the remnant of the woman's seed, that would be the righteous followers of Yeshua. ISIS is Satan's army, and it is growing at a more rapid pace, my friends. I have a link for you to click in the More Info section beneath this video where you can read Walid Shoebat's very lengthy article and get the full details. I encourage you to do so. Turning to wars and rumors of wars. On Tuesday, September 8th, up to 14 members of ISIS were killed in an airstrike and clashes with the Iraqi security forces in the country's largest province of Anbar. The clashes erupted in the early morning when dozens of ISIS militants attacked the troops and allied militias stationed just south of the ISIS-held city of Fallujah. On Wednesday, September 9th, from the Jerusalem Post, a Palestinian gunman opened fire on an Israeli vehicle carrying 2 nurses on their way to work south of the West Bank town of Nablus. The bullets penetrated the vehicle without causing injury. And from the AFP, the international coalition bombed a key Islamic State command and supply hub in Ramadi, Iraq. A video of the strike showed a massive secondary explosion at a football stadium that was used to store large amounts of homemade explosives, weapons, and ammunition. Syrian government troops lost control over a major military airbase in the northwestern province of Idlib. The troops pulled out of the Abu al-Duhur base after a 2-year siege by Islamist-led rebels, according to a newsflash broadcast Wednesday on Syrian state television. Russian forces have begun participating in military operations in Syria in support of government troops. U.S. officials said Russia sent 2 tank landing ships and additional cargo aircraft to Syria and deployed a small number of naval infantry forces. There's disagreement inside the U.S. government on what to do about it. The options are to try to confront Russia inside Syria or, as some in the White House are advocating, work with Moscow to coordinate U.S. and Russian strikes in northern Syria, where the U.S.-led coalition operates every day against the Islamic State. But others in the administration fear Russia will attack Syrian opposition groups that are fighting against Assad, using the war against the Islamic State as a cover. Russia's intentions are to keep Assad in power, not to fight ISIS. Iran has granted permission for Russian planes to fly over its territory en route to Syria. Then on Thursday, September 10th, the Egyptian military announced the killing of 86 Takfiri elements and the arrest of another 195 in the previous 3 days as part of Operation Retribution for the Martyr against militant groups in North Sinai, or as you would say, Sinai. The military further stated in a press release that 13 vehicles and 67 motorcycles were destroyed used by terrorists in attacks, and also stated that it discovered 5 new tunnels dug near the border zone. Then on Monday, September 14th, Russia launched its largest military exercises of the year, involving some 95,000 soldiers, including ground troops, Navy, and Air Force units. The Defense Ministry said the war games are aimed at testing the readiness of the military of the countries involved to manage coalition groups of troops in containing an international armed conflict. Senate Democrats delivered a major victory to President Obama when they blocked a Republican resolution to reject a 6-nation nuclear accord with Iran. This ensures the landmark deal will take effect without a veto showdown between Congress and the White House. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican Kentucky, plans to hold the vote again on Tuesday, today, but Minority Leader Harry Reid, Democrat Nevada, predicted the outcome will not change. The agreement will take effect on September 17th, unless both chambers of Congress vote to reject it. Not likely, and that means that after September 17th, Iran gets its hands on a lot of money and things are going to start hitting the fan. So, to recap, migrants are pouring into the West by the tens of thousands as a possible worldwide Islamic jihad. Airstrikes continue in Iraq's Anbar province and also in Ramadi. Syrian government troops lost control over a major military airbase in the northwestern province of Idlib. Palestinian attacks continue in Israel's West Bank. Russian forces have begun participating in military operations in Syria, and military actions continue to escalate in northern Sinai. Iran is getting ready to spend $150 billion with a B dollars on terrorist attacks against Israel. And Abba Father's Kodesh appointment with mankind, known as Yom Teruah, or Rosh Hashanah, has come and gone once more without his enacting the event known as Net Chetef, or the rapture. Let's remember, my friends, it's his time clock, not ours. He knows what he's doing. Our trust and our faith is in him, not in what we wish or want. And that, my friends, is what the LameStream Media is not telling you. Abba willing, I'll see you here again next week. Until then, stay safe. Shalom.
Crowded rooms, I need more space than I consume. Enough is time alone with you, underneath a naked moon, sharing confidential moods and making chatter. Mockingbird nocturnal sings notations of eternal things, entering the quantum breeze, flying not for want of wings. He lights his gaze on you and me, simply because we matter.